Lando Norris is under fire again following the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. After a weekend of setbacks, he fought his way from P15 to a solid P4. But the struggles in qualifying and another missed opportunity have left some fans and critics wondering if he's too nice to win. Despite that strong recovery, the cracks are starting to show. Norris, once seen as McLaren's future star, now faces growing doubts, not just from the paddock, but from his own team. His frustration is evident and his confidence is visibly shaken. The expectations at McLaren are higher than ever. But the drama isn't limited to McLaren. Red Bull, a team that once dominated the grid, is quietly unraveling. Maybe not so quietly. Behind the scenes, their struggles are growing and the entire F1 landscape could be about to shift. Stick with us as we unpack the drama from Baku and beyond. Norris' struggles, McLaren's shifting dynamics, the rookies making waves, and the giants of the grids faltering. We'll break down Mercedes' troubles and the rise of fresh talent like Colapinto and Behrman, and the tense moments leading up to the Checo-Sainz clash. And stay tuned until the end where we'll reveal just how much Red Bull is scrambling behind the scenes, and what that could mean for the rest of the season, their personnel, and the future of Formula 1. Lando Norris was on track for a spectacular qualifying lap, until a poorly timed yellow flag derailed his shot at pole. What could have been a dominant start turned into a P15 nightmare, leaving Norris with yet another uphill battle. McLaren didn't hold back, questioning the FIA's decision to wave the flag, which some critics found to be almost indecorous. While the team fumed, Norris stayed calm, quietly accepting his fate. But this calm demeanor has sparked debate. Could a more ruthless driver have ignored the flag and gone for pole, taking the risk? Legends like Senna or Schumacher might have done just that. As Norris played it safe, Oscar Piastri seized the moment. With an aggressive charge, he made a daring pass on Leclerc and masterfully defended his position. Piastri is no longer just an up-and-coming driver, he's pushing for McLaren's top spot, leaving many wondering who's the real leader of the team. But Norris wasn't finished. Despite starting P15, he clawed his way back to a commendable P4 finish. Sure, the last lap crash between Perez and Sainz gave him a bit of luck, something we'll dive into a little later, but he still was on track for a solid P6, and crucially, he outpaced Verstappen, which was his main target. Norris also played the perfect teammate, holding up Perez long enough to allow Piastri to pit cleanly. Thanks to performances like these, McLaren now leads the Constructors' Championship by 20 points. Despite the internal tension, both drivers are delivering results. Norris is still in the fight for the Drivers' Championship, but with Piastri's rise, it's clear that McLaren's future is more uncertain than ever. What do you think? Is Norris still McLaren's best shot at the title, or is Piastri ready to take over? Let us know in the comments. As Lando battles on two fronts, fighting for his position within McLaren and in the driver standings, McLaren itself fights for supremacy on the grid. But they aren't the only story this season. The rookies, Franco Colapinto and Ollie Behrman, have emerged as serious contenders, turning heads across the paddock. While Colapinto delivered an aggressive and determined performance, Albon's experience shone through, finishing in P7. Colapinto was close behind in P8, showing impressive pace and racecraft, and even holding off Lewis Hamilton for a large portion of the race. Meanwhile, Behrman, stepping in for Haas as Kevin Magnussen's replacement in Baku, secured a points finish by taking P10, outpacing his teammate Nico Hülkenberg, who finished just outside the points. His P10 finish marked an impressive step forward for the rookie. But in Formula 1, momentum is everything. As the season progresses, the real test will be whether these young talents can maintain their form and continue challenging the veterans, and maybe even break onto the podium. Can Colapinto and Behrman keep their momentum and challenge the veterans as the season progresses? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on these rising stars and the future of Formula 1. As the rookies dazzle the fans, another top team is facing its own crisis. Mercedes, once a dominant force in Formula 1, the Silver Arrows are now struggling to maintain consistency in 2024. Their much anticipated upgrades have failed to deliver. In Baku, George Russell took advantage of late race chaos to finish on the podium in P3. But teammate Lewis Hamilton had a more difficult race, finishing P9 after battling performance issues. Mercedes' struggle isn't just about speed, it's about finding consistency. Their upgrades intended to bring them back into title contention have not closed the gap to the frontrunners. With Red Bull also faltering, 2024 was supposed to be the year where Mercedes made a comeback. Instead, they find themselves facing the same issues that have plagued them for the past 2 seasons. What do you think? Can Mercedes turn it around and return to winning ways? Or is Lewis' foot out the door and unimpressive upgrades too much to come back from? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. As if Baku hadn't delivered enough twists, the penultimate lap brought an unforgettable moment. Sergio Perez, who had been brilliant all weekend, found himself in a podium fight with Carlos Sainz. But a dramatic collision between the two shattered Perez's hopes of reaffirming himself as Red Bull's number 2 driver. For Perez, who had driven with precision and determination throughout the weekend, it was a devastating blow to his championship and his attempt to prove his place within his team. The crash handed George Russell a podium, while Lando Norris and Max Verstappen also moved up the order. Perez's strong race ended in frustration as he dropped out of contention, while Sainz's Ferrari suffered yet another setback. For Red Bull, the collision wasn't just a lost podium, it reignited question about Perez's ability to deliver under pressure. Let us know in the comments, was this just another racing incident, or could any of them have prevented this? Red Bull's dominance is fading fast. Since Adrian Newey's confirmed departure and his lack of involvement in the RB20, their upgrades have missed the mark, and now they find themselves in unfamiliar territory, behind McLaren in the constructor standings. Max Verstappen, who once stood at the top of the grid without contest, is now fighting to defend his driver's championship lead. His P5 finish in Baku wasn't enough to halt McLaren's momentum. Verstappen's frustration is growing with every lap. Usually commanding on track, he now seems quieter, weighed down by a car that's no longer delivering the dominance he's used to. The pressure is building. Can Verstappen hold on? Internally, Red Bull faces growing pressure. The loss of Adrian Newey and power struggles following the death of Dietrich Mateschitz have destabilized the team that once seemed invincible. With McLaren now leading the constructors' battle, Red Bull is chasing for survival. Earlier this week, Red Bull announced it will be cancelling their fan-designed livery runs in the upcoming Singapore GP and Austin. Some see Red Bull reneging on this tradition as them recognizing their significant hurdles and not wanting to leave anything to chance, with even a few added kilos from the paint possibly making or breaking their chances. This season is rapidly turning into a fight to stay in the game for Red Bull. The paddock is buzzing with one question: can Verstappen and Red Bull stop this slide, or are we witnessing the end of their reign at the top of Formula 1? Will Verstappen hold on to his championship lead, or has McLaren's surge taken control of the season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. As we speed into the Singapore Grand Prix at Marina Bay, all the top teams have a lot on their collective minds. This is a historically tough track for Red Bull. McLaren is dealing with power dynamics and Lando's inconsistency. Ferrari keeps slipping at the finish line. How will the rookies handle the intense physicality of a race in Singapore? As the season enters its final stretch, the battle for the championship is heating up. McLaren has surged to the top of the constructor standings, leaving Red Bull chasing in their wake. Ferrari, meanwhile, is fighting for survival. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc need a flawless weekend in Singapore to keep their championship hopes alive. The team has optimized their car for the street circuit, but their inconsistency has been a major challenge all season. Who will emerge victorious as the season heads towards its climax? McLaren, Ferrari, or Red Bull? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button if you enjoyed, and hit that notification bell to follow all the action.